like you pass out, all of that sort of stuff, but all of your limbs are still attached.
This is true.
All of them are miserable.
Yeah, this is true. Just all your internal organs are cooking, though.
Yeah,
That's fine. Like,
No.
who says no to a Sunday roast?
my
When
body.
it's your own
needs-
kidney.
What did I miss?
We're
Wrong
debating
opinions
the
about the weather.
we're debating the pros and cons of being too hot or too cold.
I once got frostbite in the summertime. This was
Which
a
limb
child.
did you lose?
None. It was a mild case of frostbite that can happen. It's sort of like your body getting freezer burn. But if it doesn't go too deep, it's okay.
How did that happen?
I was a child, and
It's happened to all of us. You're forgiven.
in the US, we have these things called bomb pops, which are like these three like tricolor little ice pops. And I thought it'd be a great time as someone who loved Christmas to become Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by painting my nose with the red frozen ice pop, which resulted in me getting frostbite.
Oh my
Oh
God.
wow! Like at what point did you realize what? Wait, my nose is. I'm using the red, but why is it turning blue? Was it that, or like what?
It didn't
was it
get
the pain?
it didn't get blue. It was mostly pain. And I didn't even notice it at first. It was like it was like literally like just before it got very bad, just before things actually died, and I lost the tip of my nose. It was just like very sensitive, and I was like, "Why does it hurt so much?" And we went to the doctor. It's like, "You have frostbite. What were you doing? What were you doing? It's like June. Why do you have frostbite on your nose?"
Well, interesting
Oh my gosh.
story.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to pop in and say, can you hear me up?
Yes.
I
I'm,
hear
I'm, I'm riveted by all of this. So we're in New York right now, and I'm in a hotel that has not the most reliable Wi-Fi. So I'll be on in audio, and I'll be listening and interrupting and creating nuisance and distraction throughout. But yeah, so you won't be able to see my handsome face tonight. I hope you're all doing well.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'll take that
far.
as a- yeah,
But
I feel that. Cool. So I won't interrupt anymore. I just wanted to let you know why I'm not on video, but we are also streaming. If someone maybe wouldn't mind being like designated me, because I don't think I can have both windows up, just to check the chat in YouTube now and then, in case anyone pops in to say anything or ask any question or anything like that. I don't want to distract you, but if someone could, that would be amazing. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave you all alone now and let Mike take over.
Oh, okay. I'm in charge.
As if you've ever left us alone, CJ.
Yeah, exactly. As I'm
He's
like,
always-
talking to all of you from here.
He's always with us in spirit.
That's, that's right. That's right.
Hey.
Spirit.
You're it. In fact.
But multiple.
So do we know who's all coming tonight? Is this it, or
I don't know if there was an RSVP or anything on the forum.
okay?
But,
All
Well,
right.
the only
I think
one
there was.
Was
is
there?
Ginger
Like
coming.
4 of us that
Oh,
went
yeah.
and clicked on
Ginger.
the definitely
Oh,
coming.
yeah.
oh, there
Okay.
was. Yeah.
Mhm.
Where do I find the live stream?
It's in
CJ post.
the
I don't know anything.
Bride Society Dispatch.
Ah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait a couple of more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah, I think Ginger usually pops in a few minutes later.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get started, you can.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's
Not that
go
I'm in
ahead.
control of anything.
You're not here. No. Well, let's go ahead and do a little recap. So last time I'm so sorry. It's yeah. Last time was interesting. You, after receiving this strange package from the Neither Courier Service, from a woman named Darliana, who is captain of the Eratosthenes, the research vessel, out just about 3/4 of a mile offshore. And inside, you found an iron key along with several slips of paper with words on it that turned out to be Middle English. And you quickly discovered that those words indicated that something was going to be happening on that night at midnight beneath the lighthouse. So, in preparation of delving down into the caves that you know are in that area, there are caves, of course, that travel under pretty much all of Stony Harbor. But the ones that are underneath the lighthouse are the ones that have sort of captured the local imagination. There have been a number of people that have gone missing, believed to have gone down into the caves and never found their way out. So you all decided to prepare yourselves, getting food, rations, light, compasses, a whole host of things to prepare yourself for this journey underground. And so you decided to meet at White Castle late at night. And after having a lovely dinner,
Very elegant dinner.
Very elegant dinner, you all hopped into the mom van and traversed to the lighthouse, where you found 3 cars parked in the parking lot. 2 of them you actually recognized. One belonged to Bill Valducci, someone who actually used to run with Alex's brother. And then another one that belonged to Mr. and Mrs. Marcotte, who are, one is we have it written down. One was a dentist. One is an accountant. They have very straight-laced lives. So it was very odd to see their car here. But you did, I believe Luke remembered that they also have a son, or most likely have a child in high school. So that might explain why the car was here. The other car you did not recognize. Upon approaching the lighthouse, you noticed that there were some teenagers there having a little party, using some interesting magics. You disrupted the party, shooed the frightened teenagers away, had them call for someone to take them home safely, which they did, which leaves you now outside the lighthouse, ready to go in to figure out what exactly is happening with this particular mystery. And that is where we are. So as of this moment, you are all outside of the lighthouse. You just saw the teenagers hop into a car and drive off.
Is the lighthouse door unlocked?
No, it is locked. But Alex knew that. Alex actually has a key. Being mayor and all, he has access to that kind of thing. So he has a way to get in.
It pays to run with the mayor. Should we look around the outside of the lighthouse just to make sure there's no other distractions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give you it. Well, Eric has multiple headlamps because climbing.
Does Luke have
Luke has plenty.
No, but don't you have that? Don't you have that magic running with the night vision? Didn't you cast that last time?
I did cast that last time. I'm not sure if this qualifies as a different scene, Mike.
I would say that this is the same. I would say this is the same scene.
Okay.
So if you wish to continue to have that, I'll allow it. That's of course.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you'd like, go ahead and make me some investigation checks. And Luke, since you have that, why don't you go ahead and add a +2 to your roll?
Okay. 1 second. I have to pull up my fate app. Okay, start. Okay, so that's a 0 plus, I believe, 2. So that's just 2 straight up and down.
Okay. All right. You're looking around, and it's funny. Well, actually, describe to me, because you sort of like zoom in, correct?
Mhm.
So is it like looking through like a lens? So when you like everything is normal, but like the central view is zoomed in. So when you scan, does it sort of like follow along, like you're moving a kaleidoscope across the screen, or?
So this wasn't like, maybe this is just how I described it. It's more like what Ago was saying, that it was more like it lights up, so it's clear to me. So it's not like super dark anymore. It's almost, the spell specifically says like full moonlight. So I don't know if that helps here.
Okay.
So it'd be like it's just very bright out, and so I could see.
Okay. So you're catching a lot of details. You can see that there's graffiti sort of scratched on certain places of the walls. You can see that there seems to be relatively fresh paint over some of the areas, assuming that graffiti was drawn there relatively recently. Again, you all know that this is a bit of a hangout for teenagers, so it's going to attract, like the kids that you found today, and sometimes they're going to draw and write things on the walls, and so the people that run the lighthouse try to clean that up on occasion. Other than that, you don't really see anything. You can see the rocks around the lighthouse, and you have a pretty good view with your magic. The sort of like a stony path that leads down to what looks to be a more of a beach area where you might find cave openings.
So after scouting around the lighthouse really briefly, I come back to the group and say, well, other than just the signs of teenagers sort of just making their own little art on the world, art impressions on the world, really the only thing that I can see from here is a path down. I don't know if that's where the caves are. Cass, Alex, you might have a better inkling on where those are, but that really seems to be the only place.
Well, Cass knows that the majority of teenagers, and Alex too, when they would come to the caves, or to the lighthouse, that's usually how they would go down and get to the caves. There are some other caves that are farther along, but they're a bit more treacherous, just because when the tide comes in, they wash out and they fill up with water, or you can get trapped in there. So these are the ones that are usually considered safer. And also, it's one of those things where it allows them to be in the caves but not get too deep, too far away. So it's the more transverse. It seems to be the area that people use the most. Not that it's used a lot. Obviously, going into the caves is highly discouraged, but that seems to be the area where that happens. As for the lighthouse itself, again, the door is locked, but Alex has a key. You can see that there are bars on the windows around first level. Obviously, and Alex, you would actually know this, even though it's been a long time since the lighthouse has been renovated. These bars were put in maybe 25, 30 years ago because kids were breaking in the windows and climbing into the lighthouse. And this is to sort of prevent that. And you can see that there's actually bars there's sort of like an outside staircase that kind of goes up to the top where the lighthouse is on the outside. And you can see that it only goes about halfway up. It looks to be like an older staircase, but the probably a good 7-foot section has basically broken off from old age. It's dilapidated, but you can see that there are bars and windows going up, just to sort of like discourage any adventurous, agile teenagers from thinking, yeah, you know what, I can make that. So, but other than that, you don't see anything untoward yet.
So do we want to go in first, or?
Should we check it? Yeah, I was going to just ask the same thing. Should we check out the inside of the lighthouse or head down to the caves?
What time is it at the moment?
It's probably about 11:35. No, I take that back. It's 11. I'd say about 11:45, 11:50.
The
If-
witching
if-
hour is almost upon us.
Yeah, if we're getting close to midnight, I say that we go in just in case if midnight is the witching hour.
Mhm.
Okay.
We would like to move inside, please.
Okay. Alex, you have the key. When you approach, you easily unlock the door, and you sort of like you go inside. When you step inside, there are no lights on. Obviously, very old stone, very old mortar. The you can see that there are a number of there's actually a desk with a rather old computer on it. A lot of maps. You can see that there are Post-its with like passwords for ship tracking apps. Language is hard tonight. Sorry. And other things like that. It's very clean. So obviously that the people who actually work here, it's just sort of like it's a lone desk job. Probably just a couple of people come in and kind of help like direct ships, things like that. But other than that, you see that when you first walk in, there's a central spiral staircase going up to the light itself, probably about 30 feet up. And that looks to be in perfect condition. Again, everything inside looks well maintained. It's old, but well maintained. You can see there's also a little, I guess you would call it an in-house. Quick examination, you see a door, there's like a brick inset section that looks to be, it's basically a toilet. Somebody installed a bathroom in the lighthouse quite some time ago, but instead of having to go outside, let's actually put facilities inside where it's a bit warmer. So some paperwork, and you can, as you look around, you can see that there is actually underneath the spiral staircase, you see what looks to be a wooden hatch with an iron ring on it. And it looks like it looks like you just like lift straight up, so it's like flat on the ground. And if you lift it straight up, it's like just barely the hatch door is just small enough to move past the stairs. As you can see, sort of like looking at it. But other than that, you don't see anything on. And again, it really is just sort of like the first floor. The spiral stairs going up to where like the lighthouse is. You can see where you can kind of look up where the lens is and like where there's a floor above you, but that space is sort of like empty except for that spiral staircase. And so you have that, the bathroom, and then the hatch.
So I think where we left off, Thea had the key. So I'm going to take the key out and walk over to the hatch and see if, it looks like it might be the key to the lock.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you make me an, well, I'll tell you what, which would you prefer, an investigation check or a lore check? I mean, sort of, or you can even say a craft check, because you're basically sort of like looking at like a metallurgy.
Yeah, craft would be very good.
Okay, so make me a craft check. Make me a craft check.
That's a 1. It was a -3 + 4.
Well, it's actually, looking at it, obviously they're both old. It's kind of hard to tell because the key itself seems to have been eroded enough from time that you're assuming that it's much older than what the iron ring is, but it could be that, well, maybe it was submerged in salt water for 50 years. You don't know, but you're sort of assuming that that's what it is. And also, from the time period of when the lighthouse was originally built, the key would be considered, even with that mid 1800s technology, the key would still be considered rudimentary. So you sort of have an indication that the key is much older.
Okay.
And the hatch does not seem to be locked.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Probably could have checked that first.
It's literally just like an iron ring, wooden slats with the iron banding keeping it all together, and big iron hinges. And the iron hinges is like bolted in the stone floor.
Okay.
Can Eric go over and help Thea open up the hatch?
Of course. You grab the iron ring, and it's a solid piece of wood. It's not, it's not overly heavy, but it's heavier than what you might expect. Solid wood, solid iron, clearly made a long time ago. And you sort of like pull it open, and you can just see like little wooden stairs kind of going down. And as sort of there's you have your headlamps, you have your flashlights, and as you sort of like flashing down, you can see that maybe 5 feet below is the next floor. It looks like a little basement. You can kind of see some boxes and things like that down there. But that's really all you can see, just sort of like peeking down right where you're at.
Alrighty, so our original clue said that we had to be beneath the ivory tower at the witching hour. Do we want to go down, or do we want to investigate either the toilet or the light first? But we've only got about 10 minutes left.
Right.
Yeah,
Down.
we're headed down.
I like the
Yeah.
idea that we all like look around and nod, like, yeah, we're going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except we all have our headlights on.
Yeah.
But as we're like agreeing
We're all
with
like
each other and
strobing
looking,
one another.
yeah. But it's especially bad for Luke because he's using dark vision magic, so he's like like.
Luke like blinks a bit more as like this is like affecting him, and then suddenly he realizes he actually does need his headlamp now. He quickly like turns it on.
So you sure you don't want to check the bathroom? Kidding.
Well,
I feel like the mayor should check the bathroom cleaning record to make sure his employees are doing their jobs.
And worst
While
case
we're
scenario,
here.
Spirits went and
While
left
we're-
me with that lovely gift of urinal cakes if we need to go and spruce it up.
Might not have
Thank
to-
you, spirits.
Yeah, maybe this will be my pretense for coming to the lighthouse at midnight. Oh, I have to check the
Cleaning logs.
You're a very
make-
dedicated mayor.
So dedicated. No more dedicated mayor than me. Yep.
Okay. So go ahead.
I was going to say, can can Eric lead the charge down into the next floor?
That's up to your compatriots.
Yeah,
That's
everyone's happy for me to play meat shield.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you step down, tentacle. No.
Knew it was going to be Cthulhu.
So Eric steps down first, and it's interesting as you sort of step down, you can tell that this hatch is very old, simply because, first of all, the size of it, generally when human beings were shorter. And so you sort of like kind of get down, you kind of hunker down. And again, from the floor to the ceiling, it's only about 5 feet. So I'm not quite sure how tall Eric is, but I'm assuming it's over 5. Even I'm over 5 feet tall.
Yeah,
So
Eric-
I would assume that
Eric-
Eric is over 5 feet tall.
Yeah, definitely. He's about 6'4".
Okay, so you're sort of hunched over. You've got your pack, and so you're kind of like getting down low. Everyone else is sort of like coming down, following you behind, and it's big enough to fit all of you. And you can see that it's considerably cooler down there, and it has that seaside dampness. I don't know if you've ever spent any time next to an ocean where it sort of like permeates everything, the wood, the cloth, all that. it has that feel here. And you can see that there are boxes of canned goods. There are a couple of boxes of alcohol, various bottles of whiskey, vodka, some tequila, some rum. Yes.
The mayor
Emergency
takes
provisions.
note. The mayor takes note of this.
Yes. You also note that the boxes are all full, so it doesn't appear to be any bottles missing. So it could be storage. It could be maybe they're using it to keep themselves warm in the winter. You don't know. But yes, but there is alcohol down there. There are also some bits of coffee, hot cocoa, things like that. So you all get down there, and other than that, you can see that the walls are of the same brick. You can kind of see that this was maybe like the original foundation when it was very, when it was originally built. And you can see that the floor itself is this sort of like this almost uneven cobblestone, sort of like a cemented gravel. It's not very smooth, and you can like feel the unevenness underfoot as you sort of like walk. And you just sort of like stand, kind of like crouch down there. You can see that you're just sort of like looking through the boxes and sort of like looking around. You don't see any openings. You don't see any doorways. You don't see anything. But as you're searching, midnight comes around. And when that happens, you sort of like notice on the back wall, you just see this sort of like this, like almost like this outline of an archway form in moonlight. And just sort of like this. And as that happens, you see the center of it just dissolve to black. So there now is sort of a 4-foot arch in the back wall.
And is it like in the center? Is it like a swirling void, or is it like an opening to?
It looks like an opening to something.
Can we see through? Like, can we shine a flashlight into it?
You shine a flashlight through it, and you can see that it looks like stone walls. It looks like what you assume the caves below. What the caves would look like, these rocky cave walls. That's what it looks like.
Could Eric tie the end of one of his ropes to something in the room and then go through the archway?
Absolutely. What are you going to tie it to? You have, there is, the only sort of like attached structure would be the wooden stairs.
I'll attach it
to the hatch.
Yeah, I'll attach it to the wooden stairs.
Okay.
Yeah, just to use it like a Theseus and the yarn, kind of just to make sure that we know our way back.
Okay.
If we get lost.
Sounds good. Okay, so you tie it on, and do you have a marching order? What's the what is your plan now? To venture forth? What would you like to do?
Before anyone steps in, I think Thea would maybe take like a ball bearing or something small out of her pocket and like flick it through the door to like hear.
Make sure it's really a door?
Yeah. To see if there's any obvious problems.
No Roadrunner shenanigans
Drops
for us.
forever down a hole,
So you take a ball bearing and it's almost like rolling a marble. You just give it a good flick with your thumb.
Yeah.
And you hear it go clink, 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 clink. And you hear it like roll, and you hear the echoes of.
Okay.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's a cave. Like there's just, had you not seen the opening manifest before you would just think like, oh, there's a tunnel here in the side of this tiny little room that goes to the caves underneath the lighthouse.
Okay. Yeah, she'll turn around and be like, the floor's real.
Yeah. Oh, it's real. So, what would you like to do?
If you guys are happy, Eric's happy to continue being meat shield and lead on through.
Okay. How much rope do you have, by the way?
Did I actually write down a value? I did not write down I didn't write down how much.
Okay.
Would you like to give me an amount?
Well, if I would say that it's rock climbing rope?
It's rock climbing rope. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would assume you probably have at least 200 feet. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will scribble that down.
Okay.
Rope 200 feet. Yeah.
And I believe somebody else brought rope as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Somebody-
Ginger did
Yeah,
that for
Ginger,
us.
yeah, brought a lot of rope. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah,
No,
so-
yes.
And she's here now, so now we have a whole bunch of rope.
Yay.
Hi, Natatui.
Hello.
So Eric sort of ties off and offers to take the lead. And so you're sort of like guiding the group with the rope through the tunnel. Everyone's sort of like following behind. You all have your headlamps or flashlights. It is a bit chilly down here. So if you have a sweater or a jacket or coat, now is the time you feel like, oh, now might be a time to put it on. And eventually the tunnel opens up to where you are in a large, where you can fully stand upright. It is very, very dark. There is no ambient light whatsoever. Anything outside of the light that you're shining is pitch black. You can see, and as you shine the light back and forth, you can see like the glistening of water on the walls. You can see various places where there are stalactites, stalagmites, but and as you walk, you occasionally walk in puddles of water. Who would like to make me a survival check?
Oh, I think Eric's got good survival stats. Yes,
So
Eric's-
does Lonnie.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
weather
then.
watch skill. So.
Okay, yeah. So why don't the two of you make me survival checks, please?
I broke even at a 3.
Okay.
I got a +1, and I believe I have a +3 on it, so 4.
Okay. Both of you realize, okay, clearly at high tide, this area floods. So,
Alrighty. Do we have, well, Nolani, you would know, when's high tide tonight?
About then.
high tide probably isn't for another 3 or 4 hours.
We've got time.
So you've got some time.
Sweet.
So the cave sort of continues along and then opens up. You run out of the first 100 feet of rope and start with the second 100 feet of rope. By about 50 feet of that second rope, the cave comes to an area where there are 3, basically it branches off in 3 different directions. You can go left, forward, or right.
Do we have any idea what cardinal directions?
Did one of you bring a compass?
The two survivors. Are you kidding me?
I didn't technically bring a compass, but I can just have a compass.
Well,
I have both a compass and a satellite GPS if it can still pick up signals down here.
okay.
You never know.
The satellite phone seems to be working fine. The
Mhm.
compass, however, the two of you notice that it's doing something very strange. You're able, like, you see it pointing to magnetic north. You're like, oh, okay, so that way's north, and then you see it like wobble a bit, and then it flips and like does a couple of turns and then goes back and settles on magnetic north. Sits there for 10, 15 seconds, wobbles a bit, kind of goes back the other way.
Does it react differently at each of the different branches? Or will it constantly just do the flip around at each?
It's behaving the same. no matter where you're standing. And the thing is, you can still tell where magnetic north is. It's just that sometimes
there's like a slight interference.
Which of the caves leads? We're on the east coast, aren't we?
Yes.
And do any of the caves lead east?
No. Basically, one leads sort of like they all lead sort of inland, but one is to the south. I would say one is to the west and one is to the north. So you have south, west, and north.
All right, again, what are we feeling? Are we feeling splitting up or sticking together?
Well, theoretically, if we went through this magic door to get down here, is that what happened?
Yep.
Then this isn't usually readily available to us, so maybe it might be worth pursuing all the options. But I don't know if I trust us splitting up as groups.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Luke.
Flashlights.
Yeah, we might all have light, and we might potentially have enough rope between you and Lonnie to have 3 groups strung up to go and check everything. But Scooby-Doo has taught me that's not a good idea.
But Scooby-Doo also, when they split up, is when they find stuff.
But Ash, would you do it for a Scooby snack?
I already brought my own snacks.
Alrighty.
So, if we were going to split up and explore each of the cave fingers, how would we do that?
I mean, me and Nolani, we've both got a survival stat. I'm just flicking through. I don't think anyone else has one.
No.
Mine is decidedly unranked.
Yeah.
Mine's unranked.
Yeah, also unranked.
Alrighty.
Well, I think it would make sense that like Eric and I would be in different groups anyways.
Yeah.
Just based on what we packed.
Yeah.
If you want, why don't you make me notice checks?
Okay.
Ooh. I got notice. For
I was gonna
notice all the things.
I got a 2 for notice.
Okay. 2, 0, 2.
I got a 1 for notice.
Yeah, I got a 1.
3. Is that right? I got 3.
I got +5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I want her on my team.
Is notice your +4? Damn.
Yeah, notice is my +4.
So, yes. Yeah, that's really good. So, Carolyn, everyone that rolled a 2 or higher, you sort of like realize that there's a sea breeze coming from the north tunnel, which would seem to indicate that might lead to, like, it might kind of curve around back to the beach, or to the water, and obviously to the outside if there's that sort of like that slight breeze. Carolyn, you hear something, and it takes a second for you, and you're not quite sure, but it sounds like whimpering.
Oh, fun.
coming from the west tunnel straight ahead.
Okay. Well, the west tunnel is definitely one we need to take a look at then. Whether or
I'm
not
down for west.
I think if you, Caroline, if you heard whimpering, we probably shouldn't split up.
Yeah.
We should probably all to the west tunnel.
Yeah.
As a group.
Because if it's someone or something in need,
yeah,
the more of us there to help might be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's head off to the
and
west.
whatever's causing the whimpering, or whatever's causing the thing to be whimpering, we're probably better off facing together too.
Could you not put ideas like that in my head, Alex? Like maybe it's just cold or sad, or
maybe they just got lost.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that we're in a dark, magical, damp cave.
Okay.
We could be the magical fire department bringing this cat back home. That could be the mission.
Yeah. We could not be facing off something much worse, Alex.
All right.
I'm leaning towards pessimism as well, Alex.
Okay.
If it makes you feel better, Cass, one of the tunnels maybe opens up to the water, so maybe it's not as exclusionary as we believe.
Okay. Yeah, just y'all keep your pessimism to yourselves, and we'll figure out how it goes.
So Eric would like to lead the charge down through the west cave.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd also like to keep an eye on the satellite GPS just so we can see whereabouts in underneath the town we are.
Okay. You can see as you're sort of like leading the way and checking the satellite. Again, it's sort of like it's there, and then it kind of goes wonky for a second, and then you're like, oh, and you can see that you're moving steadily inward away from where like the lighthouse is. But as you're going down, you're going through the west tunnel, you see that it sort of like slopes down, and you come to a little bit where there's a bit of like a 3-foot cliff, more or less. You sort of like, so you're able to sort of like, get down, and as you do that, you can all start hearing the whimpering. But as you reach that spot and you all are like helping each other through, you're sort of, the sounds that you're making, maybe like oh, thank you, or oh, shine your light over there, the whimpering goes quiet. So
they're just scared of us.
Alex is going to use a spell.
Okay.
Called, or I don't know if it's going to do anything, but we'll see. It's called Auran Observation.
Okay.
It's a material spell, so I'm going to hold this while the spell's running.
Okay.
And I can see sort of auras of light emanating from Magimistic arctics or Magimists in the current zone.
Okay. So specifically, it can show you Magimists.
So it says, so Magimists or Magimistic effects in the current zone.
Okay.
Only the caster can see these auras. Mundane people and objects do not emit auras to this spell.
Okay. When you cast that spell, you don't sense anything Magimistic in front of you where the whimpering is coming from, but there is a general, there's like a flash, not a flash, but like a slight glow all around you, and then it fades. And it coincides with the compass, the same sort of like every 15, 20 seconds when the compass goes wonky or the GPS goes wonky, there's like the swell of magic in the air, and it kind of like goes and it sort of like disappears.
Like a pulsation almost?
Yeah. What's and you said it's the zone that you're in?
Yeah, the current zone that you're in.
Okay, yeah.
Sort of an aura coming from things.
So, but the sound, which sounded probably like maybe 30 feet away, the whimpering, stopped as soon as you think that it heard you. That's close enough to be affected by this, and you don't get any sense of magic from that direction.
Okay.
I do have my innate affinity from being a Marantide that might be useful. Pendulancy, it says Marantides are able to scry the minds of those around them. I don't know if we're close enough for that to count as around.
Okay. Well, let's see here. And is that a material spell?
It says it's my innate affinity.
Oh, innate affinity. Okay, all right. Okay. I'll tell you what. Make me a lore check to see how far out this can go.
Okay, let's see. And my lore is a +2. Let's see here. So I've got a +3.
Okay, so you, as you're sitting there thinking, you're fairly confident that you should be able to reach out far enough, at least where you thought you heard the whimpering coming from. It's a little hard to judge distances in here, the way things echo, but yes, you think that you might be able to. So specifically, what does the spell do again?
Hang on. It says Maritides are able to scry the minds of those around them, can anticipate events, prepare themselves and allies for sentient dangers, dodge or counterattack, martial or magimistic.
Okay. As you do this sort of, well, what does it look like when you cast the spell? Is there anything special, or are you just like?
It really seems like I'm probably just maybe spacing out a little bit or really focusing on something.
Okay, so do you tell your compatriots that you're doing this, or do you just do it? Because if you don't tell your compatriots, the rest of you just watch Carolyn just sort of like goes just stop, staring ahead, almost like Blair Witch Project, staring at the wall, and like the flashlights.
It seems that it's
probably just happened.
Yeah, it seems like it's like one of the, what is it? The innate affinity. So I don't think there's anything specific that's done to,
Okay. Well, as you use this ability, you can sense that there is definitely another person between 30 and 50 feet from the group of you, and they are terrified. You get the sense of exhaustion, fear, hunger. There is someone or something nearby that is more frightened than you can like almost like taste the fear as you're scrying into their mind. And you get the sense that the things that they heard, like you get the glimpse of all the horrible things that it might be, and it's every like worst nightmare that you can imagine. Just like there's somebody so scared but yet so too tired to run.
When it's really just a band of plucky townies with magic powers.
Go ahead.
I was like, we're in like a dank cave, aren't we?
Yeah. And it's
Would it be worth like trying to use Aquamento? It's the one where I can like let water tell me stories. Like, because
theoretically, you did step in some puddles.
Yeah, I was like, theoretically, there's pools of water everywhere.
There are, yes.
So like, would it be worth it at this time to try to use it to see what's going on before we walk in, or do we want to just go see what's happening? Because I also support that. To you. This is a team talk, guys.
I would say the more magic we can leverage to our advantage, the better.
So I should try to use it.
Do it.
Yeah.
But then also, is it like confined to like just that puddle? Would all it tell me is that it like tripped off a stalactite?
Well,
whatever the rock things are called.
So we can assume that this area is potentially going to flood at high tide, which would mean that all the water has been connected at some stage. And if the water's been connected at some stage, you should be able to get a fair chunk of information out of a puddle.
But also I can just get ambiguous stories from this ocean.
You could.
Yeah.
You could.
Welcome to why I forget I have this
you could get a free run through of Finding Nemo.
Not really.
Oh, cool. That's all you had to say. Cool. I guess I'll try to use it. Aquamento is a material spell, and it just says hear the sounds and voices that still echo in any water source within a zone, a puddle, drinking glass, bathtub, whatever.
Okay, so you when you use that spell, you hear the whimpering clearly in your mind. You can hear the whimpering. You can also hear conversations and laughter. You hear quite a bit, actually. You can hear like snippets of conversation of what sound to be younger people talking. And you hear a lot of them. And the more you hear, some of them get quieter. And as you pick up little snippets of their conversation and words they use, you hear some people using vernacular like gagging with a spoon or that was groovy, indicating that you're hearing things that are older. The water's been around a long time. But there's something else that you hear. And you're not quite sure how to explain it, but it's something that the water has heard. And it's something that when you hear all these newer conversations, you hear like one phrase that you hear is survive the night. You're not quite sure what that means, but it sounds like from a more recent conversation, especially more recently, like, oh, that's so groovy, dude. There's a constant through all of these sounds, and that sound seems to get quieter and quieter until like almost like precedes the sounds of these conversations. And that's this scratching sound. And you just hear this. And it just echoes. And it's not a loud, heavy scraping sound. It's just this like. But it echoes and it's always there. And at first you almost imagine that it was one of your compatriots around you sort of like moving or shifting somewhere in the cave. But then you realize, no, it's your spell giving you, flooding your mind with these sounds of things that have been moving past through these caves.
Okay, so maybe I skip over some of the disturbing snippets when sharing this with everybody.
Okay.
But do my best to inform them of said scratching noise. Just like, because I don't know how one would explain the rest of that.
You know what?
But I'd be like,
I'll tell you what. No, Alani, make me an influence check. I'll have to see how well you can. Yeah, I want to see how well you can explain this without adding any fear to your fellow companions down here.
I got a +1.
Okay.
Oh, it's not the worst.
Yeah, no, you're able to sort of convey that. Yeah, there's also this weird sound, like a scraping or whatever, not quite sure what it is. But you're able to do it in a nonchalant way, and you can see that everyone else is kind of like looking at you like, what's that about? But other than that, the voices are, again, and something else I would like to say about the voices, a lot of the voices that you hear a lot of crying, you hear a lot of shouts for help and echoes for help.
Oh boy.
Cool, so Lonnie's definitely a little on edge now.
So Thea brought a stethoscope with her. So she's gonna put the stethoscope on and hold it up to press it against the wall.
Okay.
I don't know how stethoscopes work, but will that can I hear if there's
Olga, how does a stethoscope work?
Please tell us.
Well,
would I be able to hear if something's in here with us aside from if something's walking down this hallway, would a stethoscope on the wall tell me?
I don't know.
I think you're thinking of the Italian job and having the stethoscope up against the safe.
Yeah, if the wall was hollow, you could hear whatever's inside the wall or behind.
But
the
it
wall.
wouldn't propagate vibrations down the wall.
No.
Okay.
No, that's not going to work.
It was worth a try.
I mean, unless you craft a magical device that allows that, but
thinking about it.
Just make a note.
Go ahead.
No, I was.
As everybody's using their different affinities and spells and stuff,
Mhm.
Alex is seeing like sort of auras flaring up from them, and it's just like the coolest thing to see, like magic in action for Alex.
Uh-huh.
Because he's seeing it sort of happen in real time, and like as you know, as Caroline's using her innate affinity, he sees sort of wave energy coming off of her, and he
Mhm.
sees like this like illusory droplets of water maybe, or whatever, sort of like these different auras and manifestations sort of around his friends as they're using their powers.
What do you see when you look at Luke and his vision? What does that look like?
I would say that his eyes look like big crescent moons, or big crescent or big full moons.
Oh, cool. Right on. Okay, yeah. So it's this kind of neat thing of seeing your friends use magic, and it's kind of neat because like the auras actually illuminate the caves for a bit when they do that. So, but again, anything outside the light is very, very dark. So now that Lonnie has told you what she was able to hear through the water, what would you like to do?
We should probably see. Good.
Are we still on top of the 3-foot cliff, or did we go down that little?
You went down.
Okay.
You went down.
Excuse
me. We should probably find the source of the whimpering. It sounds like the person's really distressed.
Yeah. I've got a trick up my sleeve. If can I approach said whimpering, please?
Of course.
They'll be creepy about it. They're freaked out enough.
I might, if it gets out of hand, I might have a ace up my sleeve that can help calm it down. But I don't want to use it right away because I might need it later. So yeah, I would like to head off in the direction where we believe the whimpering was coming from.
Okay.
With my headlamp on and.
Okay, and you go by yourself then?
Eric, would you like backup?
Yeah, like, do you want us to go with
Yes!
you?
We should all go.
I mean, yeah, like, okay.
Yeah.
Are we making like the man tornado with flashlights from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Like
No, so I have a trouble which won't let me let you guys come with me. Because
you're gonna invoke your own trouble.
I don't think you get it.
6 of us and one of you.
I mean, realistically, I'm going to need you guys standing back there in case if this thing bolts in your direction.
Well, I'm going to say for Lonnie specifically, because of your trouble, your childhood drama of almost drowning, I'm going to say that it's very difficult for you to go any farther because the cave has been going down. And you know that even though high tide is still a few hours away, you're feeling a bit nervous about that. So you can continue. You can continue. So what I'm saying is, I think that you would stay here, but unless you want to take
I'll take up the rear,
a catalyst, and I would say no. You can take the catalyst and stay, or did I screw that up? Or would you take the catalyst and go? No, I think you would take the catalyst and stay. Yes.
The point is, she doesn't want to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
then if she gained a Crabbalist, then she would go.
Yeah. I can't remember if she loses it if she refuses the compel, though.
Right. You know what it is?
Is the compel to stay?
Yeah, the compel would be to stay.
Yeah. But you want to stay anyway, right?
Well, it just makes sense character-wise.
So okay. All right. Okay.
I mean, I'll take a little crabby crab.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Lonnie wants to stay. The rest of you, do you wish to follow Eric?
Eric's strongly suggesting that everyone stay put and let me do this on my own. But
I think you should have at least one person as backup.
At least one.
I think Thea would volunteer to go with one because self-preservation much less than curiosity, but also like I can make tools if you need something.
I'm kind of wanting to go too, partly because my notice is on point today.
Yes.
And
Yes.
also, whatever's over there could be really cool.
Yeah.
I'll hang out and be Noelani's emotional support politician.
Oh, perfect. That's what I desire. I feel like somebody with like empathy or influence should maybe go as well if you're trying to calm down somebody who's terrified. But
I've got a oh wait. No, that was Stony Harbor 0.1 that I had the I had an ability that could let me use rapport as
empathy.
Empathy, yeah, but I don't have that anymore.
I mean, I have at least one empathy related ability, and empathy is a +3 for me. So like if you like if there is someone down there who is in trouble or upset, like I think I'm actually like just concerned enough that Eric might put them off. That Cass is like, no, like, can you? I'm coming with because you might need to talk to them, and they might be scared.
Is this like Cass's like mom instincts taking over? You know, like I don't want to do the thing, but that person definitely 100%. So I have to go.
This is Cass's trouble. She's like, like someone is in trouble, and I feel like I need to be the one to fix it. So,
alrighty. So Eric, Thea, Cass, and Caroline are going off in, and Luke, Alex, and Ginger are staying.
Okay.
I didn't change my name. I was like, rude.
Oh, sorry. I'm reading the bottom of the screens. Sorry, my little
I don't
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Okay. So those of you that move forward through the tunnel toward the whimpering, Eric, you are sort of like taking point on this. The cave kind of gets a bit narrower. You're able to squeeze through. It's not that difficult. You do have to kind of duck down a little bit, but you're all able to get through. As it kind of bends around, you come around and your headlamp comes across, and you see a young woman, an old teenager, sort of like huddled on the ground, and she kind of is like blinking up at the light, and she's like squinting. And she's like, and you can see she's kind of like, you're not quite sure, like she's clearly like in shock, kind of freaked out. And then finally and then she just like, she says help, and her voice is like she hasn't spoken in a long time. You know, cheeks are puffy red from crying. And she's like clearly distressed.
Being a firefighter, Eric would have a lot of basic first aid training and stuff like that.
Instantly, Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got my emergency provisions and my water bottle in my bag. I'd like to just go immediately straight to her, give her the water bottle, and start rummaging through for the first aid kit and the provisions, and just asking her, you know, doctor's ABCD, is there any danger? Response. And just checking her over for any injuries, anything like that. And just reassuring her that she's safe.
Okay.
Empathy.
As you do that, you give her the water, you tell her your name, you tell her that you're there to help, and that there are others there. She is instant relieved. She starts drinking the water and just guzzling it down. And that alone, like, you know, seems to calm her. And as you talk to her, she says that, you know, she's not in danger. She's not quite sure how long she's been down there. Feels like a long time. Her phone battery died. She came down here with her friend Zane and Devin for the Stay the Night Challenge, or Survive the Night Challenge. And as you talk to her, you're kind of like, well, what's that? And you discover that it's sort of like, it's a social media thing where kids will go to the most frightening place in their neighborhood, be it a haunted house, be it a cave, and they will stay the night by themselves. And so she and a couple of her friends thought they would do a thing where they would actually not stay by themselves, but pretend to, and film themselves even though they're with each other. And she tells you that, and then she, as she's doing that, she's like, have you found Zane and Devin yet?
No, you're the first one we've found so far, but we do have other members in the cave.
Okay.
Sorry, finish what you were saying, Eric.
I was just going to say, we've got people around. You just relax and look after number one first.
Okay, and so she's sort of like nodding, but she says she's really worried because Zane fell and hurt his leg, and Devin said he was going to stay, and she offered to go back and get help, but she got lost. She got turned around and then kept wandering, and eventually her phone died and it was dark and she couldn't go anywhere. And she couldn't see any light. She couldn't hear anything. And you kind of get the sense as you see the caves and the way they like branch out and what you know of them, it's like you can see how easy it is to get lost down here. And in the dark, like with the caves, like they'll get narrow, shorter. Like it's not like a cartoon cave where it's just like a tunnel bored out by a giant sloth. They're made by water, so you can see how that happens. And that also sort of even though I know you're not there, Lonnie, but it sort of explains the voices that you heard through time, people that have been lost or trapped down here over the years.
So I was gonna ask, do I recognize the names of her friends or her or any, because she said she doesn't know how long she's been down here, but like if they were from town, like if 3 teenagers went missing, I feel like that's a thing people would notice.
You know that the Devin is the name of the Marcotte's son. So Mr.
Is he the one that was just up?
Well, his car. His car
was there.
Yeah, the one that you scared off was not the Marcotte's son. There are 3 cars up there. One that you recognize belonged to Bill Valducci, and then the other the Marcotte's. The third one you assume belonged to the kid that you had somebody come and pick up. He wasn't able to drive his car home because you took his keys.
So does she seem calm enough that I could like try to ask her a few more questions? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's clearly relieved. She's obviously worried about her friends, but yeah, she's calm enough to ask questions if you like. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask, how did you get into the caves? And which way did you come?
And she tells you that the common path that you saw, and that the kids normally use, it's that there's like the main cave, and then you kind of go farther back, and there are a number of branches that go off, and they chose one, and there's what's called the name cavern, and the name cavern is where people who are brave enough to go in and venture deeper into the caves will write their names on the wall. So basically they made it to the name cavern and were going to stay there, but they decided to make it look even more impressive for their Instagram, TikTok Survive the Night challenge. They were going to go even deeper, and that's when they got really turned around. And so they, Zane ended up falling and hurting his leg. Devin offered to stay with him when she was going to come back and get help, and got turned around and got lost, and has been in there ever since. But as you're talking to her, you still, she's calm, but she still has a nervousness. And she's like, I think there's something in here with us.
What do you mean something in here with you? What?
She's like, I could hear it. I could hear it in the dark, scraping on the ground. I could hear it.
What does it sound? It like scraping?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I was really quiet. I didn't want it to come near me, and thankfully it didn't. But yeah, I think there's something down here.
Okay.
I would like to. Do we know this girl's name? Sorry, I didn't even think to write it down.
Yes, her name is Candice Valducci. She is Bill's younger sister.
Yep.
Okay.
I would like to reassure Candice that because we are in a cave system, sounds get echoed and magnified quite easily. So it's probably just the scraping of a little crab that got lost in the cave that's just been echoed around, and that she's got absolutely nothing to fear.
Make me an influence check then. I'll tell you what, you can, well, if you want, you can use influence, you can use empathy. Give me an empathy if you'd like.
I have neither influence or empathy, so
Neither nor, maybe.
I got a +1.
Okay, she seems reassured by that.
Yeah.
You know, she's obviously just really happy that she's found. A little unsteady on her feet. And, you know, you give her some food as well, like you have some power bars or something like that. She scarfs those down. But she's ready to get out of the caves.
Yes, let's. Is she at the end of her tunnel, or is there more tunnel beyond her?
Oh, there's more tunnel beyond her.
Alrighty. From this point, I think, Cass, can you take Candice back and follow the rope back to everyone else? And if you're happy with that, and Thea and Caroline, come with me. We need to go a little bit further and make sure that she didn't come from this direction.
That sounds good.
And
yeah.
Cass, when you get back to everyone else, can you tell them to wait for us for an hour if we haven't come back in an hour, or if they feel a tugging on the rope, to book it?
Okay. Remember how I just met Eric like this morning?
Yeah.
and not just like gave him a drink and walked away. Yeah. We're bonding. It's great.
What can I say? Emergency situation. Basic training comes in, take charge, delegate job roles, and get on with it.
Okay, so so Cass, you take Candice back to the others. Is anybody going with Eric to going farther in to see what's going on? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get to you guys in a second. The rest of you, Alex, Lonnie, Luke, you're sort of like hanging back. You see Cass and this young girl come in, and you know, and she sees you, and she's like, "Oh my!" So she's clearly happy. She thinks the cavalry's arrived. And as you're sort of you know, like talking and you know, kind of like, you know, helping to reassure her, Lonnie, you hear that scraping again. Only this time it's not in your head. You actually hear it coming from the south cave. And as soon as that, Candice just goes, and you see her just go ghost white.
Everyone else hears it too? Like, or is it just me?
Everyone hears it.
Maybe like subtly like pinch Alex or who's ever closest and be like, that was the noise. Well, seeing that the girl's terrified, I don't want to be like, oh, that was the thing I heard a lot of, you know, and talk about magic. Be like, low key, that was it. What do we do?
Oh. Cass, where's Eric and where's Eric, Thea, and Caroline? Where did they decide to go here?
They went down the rest of the tunnel.
I think we and they said to run if
they
feel a
weren't
tug on
back
the
in
rope.
an hour, or we felt a tug on the rope.
Maybe we should tug on the rope.
I think that's a good plan. Yeah. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
and hopefully they don't run away. Hopefully he doesn't take his own stupid advice. And Alex starts tugging on the rope.
Okay, so you start tugging on the rope. Eric, you feel the rope. You and Thea feel the rope tugging, and you realize that they're trying to contact you. Do you want to keep going forward? Or do you want to turn around and go back?
I do want to keep going forward just in case if the kids are down this tunnel.
Okay.
But I have confidence that Cass would have told them about the kids, and if they're signaling for us to come back, then there is immediate danger and we have to return.
Yeah.
It was
They
such a
would
non
agree.
answer.
They would want to go back, I think.
Yeah, if tugging is the universal language for
Bleep.
it's hit fan, let's so yes, we would like to start going back as quick as possible.
Okay. You start heading back, and
The rope breaks.
the rope. You're sort of like wrapping the rope up as you go along, and you get back to the group as they're all standing there, stone quiet, looking quietly down this other hallway as you approach. So, what would you like to tell Thea and Eric as they arrive?
And Caroline.
Oh, and Caroline. I'm sorry, Caroline.
Hey guys, why'd you tug on the rope? What's happened?
How about we shove I'm mad. I also forgot her name.
Candace.
Viducci. Yeah,
Candace.
her. Shove her off to the side
Balducci.
with somebody and be like, "Yo, go
Go play with the rocks in the corner."
Don't make her more terrified. I feel like I'd shove her at Luke or something. Be like,
Okay.
go entertain her.
Cass can mum her for a moment.
And the thing is, you don't have to shove her anywhere. She is already standing, like putting all of you between her and the opening of that tunnel.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But still, Eric, be cool.
So Eric, do you remember when Noelani used her spell and heard all the stories water?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was
that noise.
There was a noise that came with that, and we're all hearing it now, but without magic. And so, whatever it's making it's pretty close.
Alrighty, so two possibilities.
Time out. One thing, Alex, is your ability to see?
Yep. Yeah, I still have it. It's for the scene. So
okay, all right, yeah,
it'll last for the scene.
Okay, so the you see a faint glow, kind of almost like through the rocks, down toward that southern cave.
And so you see he sort of does this sort of 1,000-yard stare sort of down the cave, and he says, "And whatever it is, it's magic.
It's coming.
And it's coming.
And it's coming."
How is this a big cave entrance, or is it kind of like one person walk through only?
It's two people could walk shoulder to shoulder through it if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems ideal to go through one by one, just to but I said it's wide enough. It's maybe 4.5 feet wide. Maybe 5. You can see it kind of goes in and out of it.
Alrighty, so magic is coming from there. Two possibilities. Number one, this sound is being made by our missing kids, Zane and Declan?
Devin.
Yeah.
I
don't know that.
I don't think so.
I don't think they're Magimists.
Which no, it's not the most likely, but is the most preferable. Otherwise, we have got a situation going on, and we are going to need to prepare for the worst. This is something that if there are kids involved, we have to investigate this to protect the kids.
Who has good athletics?
Me. It's my +4.
Me.
Okay. Thea's gonna pull out. She brought like a handful of like tiny flashlights. She's gonna click them on, hand them to you two. You two throw them down the tunnel so we get light further into the tunnel without someone going.
Thea, you feel it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Caroline. I apologize.
I was gonna say, would it be good for me to do my stare off into the distance petulancy thing to get an idea of how screwed we are from this thing first, before we start throwing things at it and having it go, that's where I need to go.
Caroline, can you
I think it knows it needs to come this way.
Could you gaze into the future and see what it is?
Have we got timey-wimey stuff yet, or is that?
Can you do a quick future check? Check the future real quick and tell us.
A little 24-hour spit. Tell us if we survive or not.
Wow.
Tide, which is foresee an impending attack on you or another creature a moment before it lands. So I don't know if that's far out enough reach for that.
My spidey sense is tingling. Can I just get ready and cast Preflex? It's a wrought spell that allows the user to physically redirect or attack before it happens, +1 to your defend rolls.
Okay.
I would like to get that one set up, ready to go.
Okay. All right. So you're not going to cast it yet, but you're going to have it ready then.
Ready, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I've also got Foundation of Sand, which might work. Says able to see an event or action unfold and undo it, taking action to prevent its occurrence before it ever comes to pass for anyone else. It must be within the scene or if in conflict on your next turn. I think that's what I used on the tiger things in that heisty test that we did. So I'm not sure if that is necessarily applicable here either, just yet.
Okay.
We don't know that this thing's gonna attack us, though.
We don't even know what it is. Yeah. It's just it's magic and it scrapes. Those are our two facts that we know about.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like this girl terrified.
To sense,
but she hasn't seen it either.
Danger it is.
Yeah, her phone.
And I was gonna say, you also get the sense she's terrified because she's trapped in the dark alone for who knows how long.
And her friend is her, and she's
yeah. And
no one knows where she is.
Yeah, people go missing down here all the time. Well, not all the time, but it happens often enough that
they don't find people. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we still throwing the flashlights? Are we still doing that?
Speaking of flashlights, when Thea starts handing them out, Candace is like, "Can I have one of those?"
Oh, yeah.
Luke,
yes.
Luke gives her a much bigger one than the small one stays, and it's like, "Don't worry, I got
you."
Okay, so she
is the magic that I'm thinking from down the tunnel. Does it have the same kind of aura as the pulses of magic that I was seeing along the same frequency as the compass was spinning and stuff?
It's not pulsating; it's constant.
But is it the same like color or same texture pattern? Yeah,
it's interesting because the magic that you saw manifest like around your friends is sort of like this. It's very vibrant and new and sort of like whereas the pulsing and even this, there's not a tinge, but there's a weight to the glow. It's hard to you feel it more than see it. It has a weight of age to it.
Okay.
So,
but it's the same. It's the same down the tunnel as it was pulsing in the walls.
Yeah, it has the same sense of age. Yeah.
Same vibe. Okay.
Yeah.
Both old magics. I'm happy to yeet some some torches.
Same.
Okay. So
I'm
everyone
young and hip.
has flashlight. Candace is sort of like scooting up to Luke, flashlight in hand, just sort of like clearly like trying to make sure that she's surrounded by all the people that she can be.
With Thea's ability, is a flare something that's too complex to create?
So I think
Because a flare would be a lot better in this situation than throwing a torch, which potentially is just going to shatter on impact.
Would I be carrying a flare? This is a good
Or
question.
would you be able to create glow sticks?
Oh, I probably have glow
does it have
sticks
to
in
be
my pack.
machinery? You would have glow sticks in your pack?
Actually,
Probably,
yeah. At National Guard, yeah, you would. I would say
Okay.
you would.
The like really intense ones that burn for like 12 hours at minimum.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
In case
yeet
you guys
those
wondered, there is
instead of-
like D&D official glow sticks. They're very intense. And I've stolen many from my government. Which they'll never prove because I realize this is being recorded. I definitely don't have stationery with their logo on it. Nope, not at all.
In case Canada is looking for you.
Check YouTube.
She doesn't live in Canada. She lives in New England, remember?
Yeah, in Stony Harbor.
Say what part of Canada? There's a lot of Canada, in case you didn't know.
There is.
Yeah, so yeah, let's yeet some glow sticks.
Yeah, let's yeet some glow sticks. Okay, pass them around.
Okay, so
pass them down, pass them around. Stick of glow sticks all around. I don't know.
Candace is you can tell Candace is kind of confused. She was really happy she was rescued, and she ate the food, drank the water. She's happy she has a flashlight, and then you all start talking about magic and breaking out glow sticks, and she's like,
"Hey, at least you didn't see
Taya
with like the stethoscope on the wall. Is she good?"
And so now she's like, so now,
Thea,
yeah,
pull the beats out of your bag next. We're gonna
invite this scary monster to a disco.
Yeah,
to a monster
to a
bash.
you can tell that part of Candace is thinking, great, people that graduated 10, 15, 20 years ago are reliving their high school days by coming down to the caves once again. They're all whacked out on something, and they're breaking out the glow sticks talking about magic. She's like, I am going to die down here.
But that Aussie accent is kind of hot.
She's like, I'm saved by a bunch of idiots. Great.
Non-professionals.
And the mayor. Like,
yeah.
Not professionals.
We just started doing this today, actually.
Yeah, don't you know?
We're not trained professionals.
You should see our clubhouse.
Speaking of today, while like I could see like because she's near me since I gave her a flashlight, I can kind of see that she's freaking out. Luke is very bad at any interpersonal skills except for rapport. But one thing I think he'd like to know, because I don't think we've established this, is Candace, when did you and Zane and Devin all come down here? Do you remember what day it was?
Yeah, it was Friday night.
Is it Friday night now?
No,
I was like, I don't remember.
No, it's Saturday/Sunday night.
Okay.
So
Like
24 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, also, like, what's the state of like her clothes? Like, is she like freezing? I feel like I stipulated I packed like extra garments for people, and I feel like I would have offered if she was bad. I just forgot to ask.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we'll say that she is wearing like an oversized sweatshirt or whatever you brought. She's wearing that, so she's just
like give her a coat, it's like a warm up.
Yeah. So
well,
she's
hot pack.
Yeah. So she's and so again she's confused but grateful. So she's clearly being 15, 16 years old, she's not going to be like, hey, we need to do this. She's like, well, the adults are here, and I'm not sure, but I think that's the mayor. But everyone's breaking out glow sticks talking about magic. Okay, all right, well, I'm going to go along for the ride because I have a coat, food, water. All right, good. So you have your glow
just
sticks.
let the adults work, honey.
This is what you have to look forward to.
So
Pretty sweet.
she's like, oh, you know what? Never mind. Takes off. She's like, I'm going back.
Leave me.
No thanks.
No thanks. No.
I'm gonna take my chances in the sea cave with the skittering. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have your glow sticks. What would you like to do? Venture forward?
We're gonna
like at
pitch
least
him
toss
down.
a
Venture
few.
forward and yeet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you venture forward, and you can the cave sort of winds around a little bit, and after about 40 feet or so, it opens up, and you can see that there's sort of like it opens up to like this little cavern area. And Eric, since you're in front, you can see that on the walls, you can see what looks to be names scratched on the walls. But off to the side is where you hear the scraping.
Guys, we're panicking about nothing. It's just a kid adding his name.
Probably Devin.
Well, we've found the naming cave, so we know that the kids are in and around this area. I would like to go and boldly go where hundreds of men have gone before and investigate the sound where the scratching is being made.
Okay, so you step into the cave, and you have your headlamp. You've got the glow stick. Do you throw the glow stick? What do you do? Like, do you like you know that it's off to your left, and you know when you step out, it's whatever it is. It's going to probably be maybe like 10 feet away from you.
I'm just because I like saying the word yeet, I'm gonna yeet the glow stick.
Yeah, but do you like yeet the glow stick, or do you like yeet the glow stick?
So it's actually illegal for me now that I am now that I'm 50 to be able to actually use the word yeet. So you throw the glow stick, you step in and you turn and you throw the glow stick. And just as you're about to you let go of the glow stick, you almost kind of like stop because you're like shocked by what you see. You see a bird, a raven, rather large, and it has a book chained to its leg, and it's slowly moving along and dragging the book. And you sort of like the glow stick kind of like goes across, and it hits the far wall and bounces back, and the crow kind of stops, looks at it, pecks at it a bit, and it kind of keeps going. And then, it kind of like, you're sort of like shining the light on it. And, when you look at it, you can see that its eyes are a bit opaque. What is that eye condition when you get old?
Yeah.
His eyes are rheumy. It's like rheumatism or
Cataracts?
Cataracts, yeah, that's the word. Yeah, sort of like slight cataracts. There seems to be like a gray tinge to the feathers, but it's just and the chain around its leg is thick, and I mean normally you see like carry or even like little things around a bird's leg, kind of small and kind of delicate. This is rather big and obviously narrow so that it can't slip its leg out, but it's just sort of like dragging this book along.
The bird also lost in the caves.
Well, because the last 48 hours have definitely been strange enough. I would like to attempt to communicate with said raven. Okay.
How would you like to do that? By the way, do you let your people behind you know what you see?
I would put a hand back to signal them to stop. Because if this is going to go pear-shaped, we don't need this thing to know that there's more than one of us here.
Okay.
Your laugh makes me think that this is not supposed to be a boss
No,
battle.
I'm,
So
no,
I'm a little bit relieved.
No, I'm just thinking that I was trying to find like a more like time appropriate thing that a 16-year-old would know, but all I can think of is basically Candace is pulling on Luke's shirt sleeve, going, "I think Crocodile Dundee is going to be eaten. Let's go." I'm like, a 16-year-old's not going to know. Like, so
I like
anyway.
the crocodile hunter.
Yeah,
Okay,
Steve Irwin.
okay.
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
Well, even
Okay,
God,
still
there's
a
no
little
stingrays
dated,
around.
but that would be more relevant than Crocodile Dundee, I feel.
Certainly.
Okay.
Certainly.
If this is an older and smaller town, surely they've got like reruns of
yeah.
old movies at the
Yeah.
cinema and stuff
Well,
like that.
I mean, but let's be honest. Does anybody under the age of 20 watch television anymore? I mean,
No.
everything's all on their phone. So I don't know. I'm sure.
True.
I would say that whoever the popular Australian
Crocodile Hunter's probably on Netflix.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Bindi and Robert Irwin have some fame over in the States, don't they?
Oh wait,
Their
like,
child is very cute.
I actually watch like real TV, and like his kids have a show. They have a whole zoo, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Keeping like it's something, Meet the Irwins or something.
Yeah,
it's
the whole thing.
I should nip up the road and take some photos of it for you guys sometime then.
Okay, well, we'll say that whatever current Australian celebrity, netlebrity influencer that a 16-year-old girl would know, that's the word that's the name that she uses. Either way, she thinks that you're about to be eaten by something. Not
tracks. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of feeling the same vibes coming along.
So what are the rest of you doing? As you see, basically he throws this glow stick and just kind of standing there, about to, you think, say something. What are you doing? So Eric, while you're thinking about what you're going to do or say, how is everybody else reacting?
I think actually when Candace sort of tries to let Luke know, like, hey, I don't know what he's doing, but we should get out of here. Kind of, I'm like, oh yeah, we should get Candace out of here. Like that's, I want to like take her back up the tunnel and see if the doorway we came through in the lighthouse is like still, if we can get out that way. Because I'm kind of worried we can't.
Okay. All right. So, well, if you want to lead Candace back along the rope, you go back that way, and it's still there. Okay. The archway is still there. If you want to take her up through the lighthouse and out that way, you can. Okay. So you lead her up, and I mean, she is just overjoyed. She's crying tears of joy being out. But she's nervous when she sees the cars. She sees Devin Marcotte's car, or his parents' car, and she's like, they're still down there. Devin and Zane are still down there. And then she starts kind of getting a little nervous. She's like, should I go for help? Should I go get the police?
So I'm gonna give her my cell phone.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, yeah, can you call like emergency services, tell them your friends went into the caves, one of them was hurt, tell them what you know, and tell them to come meet us at, I stopped for a second because I'm not sure whether I should tell them to come to the lighthouse where the magical door is.
Luke indicates the path, just like, no, because Luke definitely came with Cass.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Cass, you know that because you know how to get to the name room from the other main
the normal way. Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, I stopped for a second. I tell them to like go around to where the caves are, and like emergency services knows where to get into the caves also for reasons.
Yeah.
Reasons.
It's not basically they have somebody on call to go to the caves at this moment. There's probably like an ambulance waiting at the White Castle right now, just waiting for their call to come on down to the lighthouse. So she takes your phone, and she kind of looks at it, and she holds it up to your face. It goes to it, and then she like gets on and she calls, and you can hear her talking to the authorities. Do you head back down?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I don't know how much time has passed or like what they're doing down there, but I'm gonna go back.
Okay, so all right, so Luke and Cass go back. The rest of you, Eric, what are you gonna say to this thing? What are you gonna do?
So I am going to basically try to pack as much information in this for everyone else behind me. I'm going to say, excuse me, Mr. Giant Raven with the book attached to you. We don't mean you any harm. Can you understand me?
I just want you to picture all of you standing in the cave after Eric throws a glow stick and then says, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Raven with the book attached to you." But that's what you hear. You are free to react however you wish, if at all. But that is what you see.
So Alex turns his head towards the glow stick and whatever Eric's talking about. And what do I see with my magic vision?
The bird is magical. The book is magical. The chain is magical. Like it's just there's
so
magic.
I'm seeing just magic just emanating off of all of these things.
Yes. So, but in response to Eric's question, the Raven does not react at all. It just sort of like standing there looking at you, and you can kind of see it like it pecks down at the chain, but that's it.
We need to save these kids. Is anyone else getting boss vibes, or should I approach?
Would doing a notice on the bird and or the chain and or the book do any good for us at the moment?
Make a notice check and find out.
Okay.
Can I notice as well? Because I'm up the front. Yeah.
Sure. If any of you want to come in the room and look and see what's going on and notice, you can.
I got a +5 again.
Wow. Okay.
+4 notices.
Noticing
awesome.
Nancy.
Caroline, supreme noticer.
Yeah. Caroline, the thing that you really notice is that the iron of the chain and the bindings of the book, because you notice the book itself is locked.
Okay.
You notice that iron has the same aged and pitted appearance as the key.
It's the key.
So
unlock the book.
It was our job to steal this book.
Oh my God, guys! Remember that time we spent all that time unlocking a book back in 2016-17? Let's do it again.
All over again.
Wait. Are there more locks on
Unlock
this
the
book
book.
than like the obvious one attaching it to the Raven?
Well, you notice
there's 4, and each one has 4 fragments. We're going to be here for the next 20 years.
Caroline, you notice only one lock.
Oh, good. And we've got one key, so we're set.
Wait, this isn't the Book of Briars?
Oh, I'm in the wrong chat. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Damn, I almost had you. Oh, well. All right. Well,
there's lots of ravens with that.
Yeah.
So Caroline, you notice that the iron appears to be the same. The book looks, again, very quick notice, but from where you can see, it looks very, very old. Roughly the same age as the parchments, the parchment that the words that were delivered to you were on. Now, again, I want to remind all of you, I know the kind of puzzles that you are used to solving.
Yeah.
This is not that.
Dial it back.
Okay?
Dial it back.
Dial it back.
I think we can put the iron key into the iron lock.
On living bird who might fight back.
I feel like this whole campaign, like, not gonna lie, Mike's just like has all these adventures for us, but we spend so long overthinking like go in this room and find this thing that we just void the rest of the adventure.
That's quite all right. No, I mean,
it just takes us so long to be like, okay, we're going in, and being like, it was nothing actually important.
No. I mean, but also keep in mind, like we're telling the story together. So okay, all right.
Yeah, like
I think the viewers at home should know that we have a certain level of Scooby-Doo PTSD at the moment.
Also, we've been conditioned by long participation in the AGP forum to do collaborative problem solving, which is good.
Yeah. Well, it is, but sometimes you just need to stick a key inside a lock.
Thea, may I see the key, please? Can you just hold it?
Yeah, so I was just about to say, in the vein of doing useless things, Thea has stayed behind at that intersection to try to draw a map of where we've been. He's not near the bird at all.
Lonnie's right there with you. She ain't going in.
Can somebody get Thea?
We'll assume it's telephoned down and Thea goes down the tunnel.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Someone's yanking on that sword again.
Do you have the key?
Yeah, so I'll like take the key out and like from the distance we're at, it looks legit. Like it looks like this is where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
They's gonna start edging towards the bird.
Is the key magic?
No.
Uh-oh.
So the key doesn't emit the same aura as the chain or the book?
The key has no magic. The key does not emit any type of aura.
Mm-hmm.
No. Well, it's still iron. Give it a shot.
Yeah. Ooh. If Thea's approaching the bird, I'll approach the bird with her.
Okay.
Does anyone in this room, is any one of you one of the ones who brought snacks? Can you like breadcrumbs something for this bird? Distract the bird.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just going for it.
Ash, if you wouldn't mind sacrificing some of yours, I want to save the rest of my provisions for the other kids.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, by the way, as you're all sort of like talking about, okay, like, do we have food for the bird? As you're discussing this, bird, Candace walks in and she sees the bird. And
how did Candace was all the way up at the...
I'm so sorry. Never mind. She's gone. Forget it.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
She around to the other entrance again.
Decided she knows everything about the caves.
I haven't said anything because I'm not there because I took Candace back upstairs.
That's right. I apologize.
You're fine.
Candace is in new places at once. Why? No, kidding.
Candace is the bird. It was Candace all along. She trapped the bird.
Kids still.
You let the real boss go. No.
Oh my god. She transmuted her friends into a bird and a book and chained them together in the sea cave.
She's the real crab queen.
Damn it, you beat me to
it. I'm sorry, Sky. To know we're on the same wavelength, though.
I didn't know whether everyone watching this knows of her existence. Oh no, we've discussed her openly.
Yeah, we talked about that in session
we've discussed
0.
the crowd queen.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember which is like 0.1 and 0.2.
Yes, the crab queen is real. Yes,
the crab queen is real, and we all know her. Yeah. Candace. Yeah, so me, Thea, Caroline approaching the bird.
Okay. So is Caroline, are you the one giving the bird snacks, or is Thea? Okay. So you give the bird snacks. Okay, and you sort of like do you like leave it in your hand or put it on the ground?
Probably on the ground.
Okay, so you put the snacks on the ground. By the way, the bird's pretty big. Like you've obviously seen ravens before. You know that they're generally rather large. This one seems. Eat the snacks. Ready? Catch. There's like the glow stick is there, so everything's in this weird sort of like greenish yellowish glow with the weird light with the flashlights, but It just packs up the food and is just eating the food. And it's not being aggressive. It's not like attacking. It's just kind of just chilling out as it's eating the food. So as you approach, you can see that, you know, the bird's leg is raw where this thing has been digging into its leg for who knows how long. You can see that there is writing on the cover of the book. You recognize it as Middle English. So being that you just did some research to discover what those words on the parchment were, you recognize this as the same language, the same dialect, Middle English.
Yeah, so while the bird's snacking, Thea's gonna try to like edge around and get close to the book and try to unlock this book.
Okay, so you get around and it's not hard. The bird kind of like looks at you and kind of like watches you go, kind of goes back down, starts pecking at the food. But you're able to get to the book. You slide the key in the lock, and it's a heavy lock. Like you're like, oh yeah, this was, you know, it was not exactly fine craftsmanship, but functional. So, and then you sort of like, you start fiddling with it and you're like, oh, it's not moving. But you were like, oh, well, like maybe some brute force. And you hear the thing click and it unlocks. And so you're able to pull the lock off and the book is able to open now. So but you notice that the chain, there is no lock to the chain.
So the book is still attached to the bird, but the lock was holding the covers closed.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So the chain and the manacles that bind the book to the bird look to have been welded in place. They're not. Bird. Yeah. There's it's just a lock for the book.
Anybody got magic for that?
I was going to see if anyone has got an oxy cutter in their inventory.
Damn, knew I should have brought the bolt cutters. The one time you leave them at home. Also, like I'm just still chilling in like the hallway, so like
there. I don't know if bolt cutters would have necessarily worked.
So
I know I don't have anything to help.
Yeah, I like relay all of that back. I don't know how close people are if they could like see that it opened. So I just like say, the lock is off. It's Middle English. Do I open the spooky bird book?
I'm not there, but yes.
Yeah.
That does seem obviously like the thing we were supposed to do when given a cryptic note in Middle English. So
we got numbers. There were numbers.
There are numbers on the side of the key, yes. Mm-hmm. I will say that by this point, Luke and Cass, you're back down with the others. So you're all together now. So you come down, you see that everyone's in the room and like what's going on. And then of course you walk in, you see a bird attached to a book.
Can we flip the book open to page 41? Can we look at the second line and the fifth word in that line?
You can, except that they're not paragraphs. There are columns, just columns of names. In fact, the entire book is just columns of names. And
that's why it's called the name room.
There are two. There are two columns per page, and they're roughly between like 80 and 100 pages. So when you turn to page 41, it's just like you're looking at 4 columns.
2 columns. Yeah. Oh, okay, yep.
So there are 2 columns on page 41, 2 columns on page 42.
Page 42, yeah. Can we go to the second column and read the 5th name down?
You can, and that name I can tell you is there. It is Geralda Fenn. So,
probably a dumb thing, but can we ask the bird if the bird is Geralda Fenn?
As soon as you say the name Geralda Fenn, the chain begins to dissolve. And it just sort of like it just like turns to mist in front of you. And as that happens, the bird sort of like steps back a bit, and you see it strange. It almost like squats down like it's sitting, and then it begins to change and swell larger and larger until it actually turns into a middle-aged woman with sort of darker hair that is graying on the edges, and so she's sort of like sitting there, kind of like huddled in the ball, kind of like shivering a bit. And she just sort of like kind of looks up at you, and she begins speaking. And obviously she's speaking Middle English. It is something that you can't quite understand. The dialect is strange. Yeah,
so she
she
wouldn't understand when we tell her we want to yeet something, right? No.
No.
She's not gonna get that one. Okay.
No.
You might think you're talking about eating something.
Ye old eating.
Ye old eating. Yeet.
Called Wise Thorn, guys. Come on. Anyway.
Or does anyone have an affinity with languages?
Is there a specific thing for language?
Somebody make me a notice check.
Oh, I know
Caroline,
who.
keep it
I know who
going.
should do it.
Let's see. Okay, that was a 5.
17.
No, it is +2 this time.
I mean, I rolled a +5 this time. If anyone wants to
got a +4.
Look at all his noticing things.
You guys like
we're awake now.
Lonnie
Mike,
and Luke,
does Geralda have a now that she's transformed? Does she still have a magical aura?
She does.
Okay.
She does.
Does the book still exist, or did the book disappear with the chain?
The book still exists, and the book no longer has a magical aura, but she does. So the you notice that she's very, very cold. So Lonnie, you're like. I mean, she's not wearing any clothes. You like blanket. You cover up, get her and so she's she's clearly confused, but seems to be accepting your assistance. But you also notice that she had like darker hair with gray flecked in. There seems to be more gray now.
Would she not freak out?
So she's aging. So it started off black, and now it's starting to get more and more progressively gray.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Does anyone have a stasis spell?
I mean, I want to freeze enemies temporarily. Stop.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Paralyze.
Sure. I don't think what's.
This girl is going to turn to dust on us.
But I don't know. But she's not allowed to speak if I do it.
Yeah.
The only other thing that you notice, of course, is that the book is full of names, but there seems to be writing on the cover in Middle English.
So we would close the cover again and we'll try to figure out what's on the cover.
Yeah. What does
we should probably try to figure out what this lady says before she turns into a skeleton.
Yeah.
What was Geralda saying?
Something in Middle English.
Middle English.
Does anybody speak Middle English?
Didn't we have to get out a dictionary?
We had didn't we all just brush up on it? I feel.
So can we guess what do the words on the cover say?
Okay.
To start with.
Do you have a book with you?
We have.
I think I have the Coven. I have the Coven tome, right? I brought the Coven tome with me.
I bring a notebook with me everywhere.
Okay.
I have a notebook and pens.
Okay. We'll say that. Let's do a group effort then. Let's go ahead. Let's have everyone make lore checks to see how your memory and note taking when you were doing the original Middle English deciphering.
+3.
I'm gonna need. Oh, I can't. I'm already have another spell running. Okay, never mind. That's a question. Is more than one spell at a time? Like more than one magic ability at a time?
You theoretically drop it when you try to cast something else.
But you hold.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if we ever addressed that in the rules. That's a good point. I'll have to look into that. Find out. We'll say for right now that you can, if you wanted to.
I'm gonna use Edge of Mentor, and so somebody can get a +2 to their roll.
Okay.
I'm also going to cast Epiphany of Thought, which gives me a +1 on my next lore skill roll.
Okay, and Luke, what did you want to say?
No, I just have a 2.
Oh, you have a 2?
I got a 3.
Yeah.
Mine zeroed out.
I got a
had a
-3.
-1.
I have a -2.
Oh, no, I have a
okay.
-2. I have a
No, I have a
-2.
-1. I have a -1. I lied. -1.
Okay.
Two people
right.
try to help other people.
I would just like to point out that Eric is smarter than some of you in this moment. You should be ashamed.
Okay, hold on. Let me write all this down. I'll have to
I
do
mean,
math.
if this had been academics, would have been great.
True, academics, A+.
Yeah.
Okay, so who got more than 0? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't have your gallery view. I apologize.
Oh, okay. I did.
Eric rolled a 1.
Okay, and the next one?
Lonnie rolled a 3.
Okay.
And Luke rolled a 2.
Okay. All right. So the rest of you, what did you roll?
Thea got a -1.
-1.
So
okay.
I'm gonna give my +2 to Thea and convert her to a +1.
Okay.
Dope.
Nice. All right.
I also had a -1.
Okay. And Carolyn, what did you have?
I got a 0.
Okay. All right. Well, that's 7 to -1. That's good. Yeah, you guys are actually able to figure it out. There's a bit of an argument there as the and of course Geralda is sitting there covered in a blanket and she's watching you look at the book, trying to figure it out, and she's just kind of like looking at all of you as she's munching on whatever food stuff you gave her, and you can see that her face is now a little bit more wrinkly, but you're able to decipher what it says. It takes a little time because it's a paragraph. It says there's a title that says complete an accurate account of Geralda's devilry. Herein lie the name.
Geralda's what now?
Geralda's devilry.
Devilry. Okay.
Yes. Herein lie the names of those most holy of God's children, their moment to sit at their rightful place by the Lord's side, delayed through the evil sorceries of the devil's witch Geralda. By ridding their village of this great pestilence, she has thwarted divine will. For this grievous and demonic affront, she is condemned to beastdom, burdened by the tome of her sins, and banished to the darkest regions of the underworld. Geralda shall remain in this cursed state for each year she has denied these poor souls their noble entry into heaven, or until she is found sufficiently punished and her name called upon through mortal, unbeastly lips.
Oops.
So she was punished for basically being a doctor by people who don't understand things and saying, how dare you save people dying at a young age.
Or maybe she was a magimus.
She is. I can see that
she is an aura, so she's a healer in a way that they didn't understand.
It's devildom to save someone's life, but it's not devildom to turn them into a bird.
You know how
have you met any religion ever?
Middle English logic, dude.
They gotta contradict themselves. It's not legit otherwise.
Or also, patriarchy is the option here. She is a woman from like Middle English times. That
she was
yeah.
Yeah.
Can we communicate with her using our excellent Middle English skills that we just learned?
You are able to she can hear, you can maybe like say like one word that she kind of sort of understands, and when she speaks you can see that she like her dialect it's different, that it's like, you know, when you're looking at these words, there's something that like when you actually hear the dialects of Middle English. It's almost like when you hear the dialect of Elizabethan English, Jacobean English. Like it's Shakespeare, but it's not when it was pronounced, in the 1560s or whatever it was.
She's pronouncing it properly, and we're totally
exactly right. Yeah, you're pronouncing through the filter of modern English. So
can I give her my notebook? If we can't understand what she's saying, can I try to give her my notebook and have her write whatever she wants to tell us?
She doesn't know how to pen or pencil work.
You hand it to her, and
she had
so,
she's like, what is this?
All the names in the book
with a quill.
We can show her how to use a pencil.
No, but I was like, wouldn't her reaction just be like, "The fuck is this?" I mean,
this is young lady.
I mean,
there may be children watching this stream.
Hi, future children.
I apologize.
So, I mean, you hand her the pad and the pencil, but it soon becomes clear that she never really learned how to write. It's just not a skill that she possessed.
That's fair.
You know how expensive parchment was?
I mean, wasn't she a witch? Don't they all write in that part of witchery back then?
Oral
Writing,
history.
reading, writing, math.
But you do know that, as you guys are going through the books, and she's sort of she sees the names on the page, and she's kind of looking at the names, and she's running her fingers over them. And you can see that even though she never learned how to write, there's enough where it takes her a minute to realize what it is she's looking at, and she realizes that they're names. Because she sees her, because when you first started communicating, you point to her name and then point to her, and she's like Geralda, although she pronounces it like Geralda. Just a little bit of a weird dialect, but you realize that the book is full of names.
How? Mike, I'm sorry. How to pronounce it?
No. no. But she recognizes what the names are, and she starts to smile when she realizes, she saved all these people. And so, and again, as she's sort of reading and smiling at this book, she, keeps progressing and getting older and older, kind of as you sit there. But yeah, she's just, and one of the last things she does is kind of look up at you and kind of nod and smile, and she starts saying something which you assume means thank you, or some sort of whatever the equivalent of because she keeps repeating it, and she kind of reaches out and touches you, and her hand is very frail, her knuckles are very thick with arthritis, and her hair is now completely gray. She just sort of sits there and she's looking at the book, but eventually she stops moving.
That's sad.
Unintentional moment of silence there. Well,
alrighty. Well, is her body, does it stop at this stage, or does it just keep going until there's nothing?
It keeps going. You can tell it's going to be dusk soon.
Alrighty. How much time do we have left until high tide?
I'd say maybe another 2.5, 3 hours.
Okay, well, those other two kids.
We do, and clearly, magic brought us here to help Geralda, and maybe the unknown consequences of that are that we were helping these 3 kids as well. So we've done our best by magic by helping her. Now let's continue her legacy of saving people and find these kids.
It was like a quest to make Eric deal with his trauma.
So Alex takes the book of names.
Okay.
Please.
And sort of holds it.
Let's make sure somebody takes it.
Yeah, and I have the Coven Tome too, so I'm just going to hold it with the Coven Tome and carry them.
Okay.
Just quickly, the book was a list of all the names that she saved.
Mm-hmm.
And her own name was written in the book as well, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So she'd saved herself at some stage. Okay, yep.
So you have.
Before we move on, They is gonna fold a couple flowers and leave them on the ground where Alda was, and stand up and rejoin the group.
Do we like cover her in the blanket and let her dissolve in peace, or do we pick up her ashes? Like, what do you do? You just
dissolve in peace.
Let her. Okay, I am not retrieving that blanket. Just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, that blanket can chill. That blanket belongs to the sea now.
She spent hundreds of years as a bird, so like, I think it's okay. You know?
Yeah.
My heart hurts.
She was clearly grateful for freeing her from this. So
the list of names in the book, were they the last few entries, were any of them modern names, or like was she helping people in the cave while she was a bird?
Can we look at the book later? I'm sorry, I'm just worried about these kids now.
We do need to do kids first. So.
Well, you do realize that you are in the name room now.
Yeah.
Because you can see the names, and you can see that that beside all the names are dates. Cass, Alex, you recognize a couple of names of people that you went to school with. You also
Alex is pretty sure he sees Cass's name, but he doesn't say anything. He doesn't make any mention.
Yeah, you also see that the dates go back quite a ways. Back into you can see like the late 50s is some of the earliest ones you can see. So people have been doing this for a while. And you also recognize a couple of the names of people, Alex especially, that disappeared at some point.
So we're in a sea cave, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so is there any sort of an echo in the cave?
Sound,
reasonably.
Yeah.
So Alex kind of cups his hands and uses his best public speaking voice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yo, Devin.
And just yells, Devin, Zane, can you hear us? Devin, Zane.
Are there many other entrances to the cave other than the one that we're sure leads out to the water and the one that we've come from?
There are others, you're sure, but you're not quite. Those are the two that you know for sure how to get to. Those just are like the main ways in and out.
Oh,
there
so
are other ways in. Yeah. You could. There are rumors that there are a number of caves in and out. So, but Alex, after spending a couple minutes shutting those names, you finally hear a raspy voice say, "Hey, over here! Hey, down here!" And so you get farther along.
Because now that terrifying scraping noise turned out to be something amazing and beautiful, I'm pretty sure we can yell and not attract attentions of anything unwanted. So.
You follow the shouts and eventually come and you find Devin and Zane. They're shining your lights. It's dark and you can see that they're on a cliff that's probably about 10 feet down. And you can see that they're on this little ledge, and you can see that the water, it's almost like a bowl, like a big bowl. And they're you can see that what must have happened is Zane must have fallen in the dark, fell down, and broke his leg. And Devin somehow climbed down to help him, but wasn't able to get his friend back up. And then Candace went to go get help. You can see that the water around is getting kind of high. It's kind of up to the lip of the little edge. So it's a big bowl. There's a little ledge right here, and they're on that. And looking down, and Eric, with your emergency expertise, you can see that Zane's not looking very good.
Mhm.
He's pale. He's kind of like, eyes kind of, fluttering, sort of open, and, but Devin is there looking nervous. So, but you were all there. You found them.
Not that we would know, but have emergency services been called, Cass?
Yeah, they're at the lighthouse.
They're coming. Yeah.
I sent Candace, gave her my cell phone, so they should be here any minute.
Alrighty. Well, I think the best thing to do would be to start organizing climbing gear to safely go down and help them out.
Okay.
Thea's gonna look around on the ledge. Is there anything for someone to like tie off ropes to, or is it just like rock?
You can find a couple of stalagmites that you can sort of like wrap the rope around, and you also you actually, Thea, you're able to figure out there's a little there's like a little crevice that you could actually take one of those heavy duty flashlights, put in and then turn sideways, and then tie a rope to that and have the pressure, the weight, keep it in place. So you're absolutely able to engineer something to make it all.
Well, so Thea might do one better then. So
okay,
so I'm
but okay.
well, so if this is kind of in a place where like the flashlight could go, I'm assuming it's got maybe some cover from the two kids who are 10 feet down anyway. My guild affinity or my bearing affinity is to be able to construct the right object for a given situation and pull it into existence. So she might pull like a permanent bar into place there, so then it can't slip like a flashlight might.
Okay, so that is exactly what you do then. What does it look? Is there a specific way you do it?
Maybe make it look, like she's reaching around in this spot, and when she pulls her hand back, it looks like rock across there. So then like emergency services don't come and be like, who put this weird metal bar here?
Right.
So it'll just be like a pillar of rock between the two sides.
Okay. Like, oh, look what I have found. How strange. Yeah.
How convenient.
So you do that, you get it tied off. You're able to, especially with, Eric's training and Lonnie's training, you're able to sort of like get down there, fashion a way to use your remaining rope to rig harnesses to get them up. And as soon as you get down there, Devin's like, our friend Candace, did she find you guys? Like, she went for help. I don't know how long ago, but she's down here with us. Did you find her? So, clearly, Devin is worried. Devin seems to be okay. He's just really worried about his friends. And, Zane is
not in a good way.
He's not in a good way. He's a very slight kid. And so like talking with them, you're able to, ascertain that, he's, got some underlying health issues, but he's, but again, he's not looking good. So, but you're able to get them both out of the cave. Now, do you want to go back the way you came, or do you want to go back out through the quote unquote normal way?
I think we should go out the normal way, only because we've got the kids with us.
So as we're walking up that way, getting the kids up, Cass is gonna turn to Alex and say, so how do you want to explain to the EMS people that we're all hanging out underground? Like,
I mean, we could just say that, like, we heard
them
calling out for help. We found their car and we grabbed some local people to help us. We gathered a search party.
Because
some of us could just hide.
Some of us are first responders.
The mayor, the firefighter, and the Coast Guard could go out, and the rest of us could just like chill until they leave.
Yeah.
I'm in this country, I'm technically a backpacker.
Technically.
So
in the bin
job
on the floor
title
of my closet, left side. I do have a black bucket.
So the rest of us could go to the lighthouse. The rest of us could go to the lighthouse and hang out there. while Alex and Nolani and maybe Eric, professional backpacker, take the other two kids out the normal way. And we like say like, oh, we make up some reason for not being there.
There's a box of alcohol in the basement. So
yeah, we also have to try and hide Eric's tether cord all the way back to the way we actually came in.
Okay, and my fan is there anyway, so we can go back that way, coil up the rope, pick up the van.
I was going to say, would someone be game to go backwards through it and collect the rope up, because I'm stuck with Limpy.
Will do.
Yeah.
Stuck with Limpy.
Oh, Limpy.
And can I just add, like, we're discussing this mindful, at least Cass is mindful of the things that happened with Candace earlier, is attempting to discuss the whole, like, we came in through the lighthouse in a circumspect way.
The other way.
You can tell, like, Devin is not paying attention to you guys at all. He just wants to make sure that his buddy's okay. He's like, and you guys told him that Candace is out, so he's feeling relieved. He's just glad that there are people with ropes and food and flashlights and water. He's like, again, he's grateful, but he's just like he's just talking to Zane, like, it's gonna be okay, man. We're gonna get you out of here, and that's it. So you realize you can have your conversation, not have to worry about the weird sidelong glances and like, word with the book. What's he's not even paying attention to that. So
Cass is 100% being cautious about it anyway. Like,
okay. So since it is that time, we will say that you are able to exit the caves through Cass's somehow miraculous memory of having never been down there, but just through rumor, I'm sure, of how to get out of these caves. You find your way out, and by the time you get up, there are a number of ambulances. Local sheriff is there. A number of other police officers. Like the one fire truck, like people came, and you notice that there's a White Castle bag on the dash of the ambulance. But you're right away they see Zane. They get him on a gurney. They get him in the ambulance. They put Devin's like, I'm gonna go with him. Like, we're gonna take you in a separate. He's gonna be fine. They put a blanket over his shoulders. They get him in the ambulance, and then the sheriff, seeing that Alex is there, assumes that you were called here and that you're kind of like figuring out what's going on. So the questions are kind of light, just kind of a rough thing. And as you're sort of explaining what's going on, the sheriff's like, okay, you came out here because you heard some shenanigans were going on, found the kids, heard that their friends were down caves, you went to go investigate and found that they had been there for a while. All right, okay, yeah, so it makes sense, it tracks. But yeah, so you're able to get them out, and it's probably about 2-3 o'clock in the morning by the time it's all is said and done. You're ready to go home. Okay.
Wishing hour complete.
Wishing hour complete. And so after that, you finally have your first day of being coven mates comes to an end.
What a day.
What a day.
It's almost like it lasted 3 months.
I know. It would never end.
Before we wrap this up, should we discuss, away from emergency services and everything like that, the Book of Names? Are we going to share this information with the Coven on the atrocities?
Well, they presumably know about it because we got the stuff from
the key from them. Yeah.
If I recall correctly, it was something they had that they couldn't figure out, and it's like, hey, maybe you guys can.
Yeah, I think we should. I think in the spirit of
open communication,
collaboration, and open communication, I think we should.
Is it something that we want to do before we wrap up tonight, or is it something that we wait until tomorrow or when they contact us next?
Well, I would say that, Well, you mean tonight, as in the game?
Game.
Yeah, in the game tonight.
No, it's like
think,
2 a.m.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anything out of the research vessel captain at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, guess what? We solved the mystery.
You know how you guys couldn't figure it out? We did it within a day of meeting each other.
I can see a great relationship forming.
They're not pretentious at all.
Well, then what we'll do is next time we convene, we will go ahead and pick up from, we'll say, the following morning if you wish, or if you wish some time to go by, whatever you want.
It is like 3 a.m. How about like the next day? Let them sleep.
Yeah, I think all of you might want to sleep in this next day.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna get some nice, well-deserved rest.
Nice naps.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be on my schedule.
Boy.
All right. Well, then we will go ahead and end it there, and we'll pick this up next time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And as I hope you understand now the level of puzzle where it was literally 2.5 seconds before Eric's like, go to this page, read this.
No, that's the appropriate level of puzzle for 7 of us trying to solve it in real time.
Yeah.
In
or even like the Middle English, it's
hours.
less of a puzzle, more of how do we make our characters figure this thing out, even though we know what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
It's good. It works.
It's good.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, enjoy the rest of your day or evening, summer or winter, depending on where you are in the world. And we'll do this again next time.
The next time we're meeting, is it the 16th?
Yes.
We're starting
moving to another week.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay, guys. We'll see you then.
Right.
Bye.
All right. Thank you.